We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Your talk, your voice, your show. This is Fox News Talk. Listen, learn, and be a part of the conversation at 877-367-2526. News.
I'm Bill Hemmer.
Politics.
I'm Brett Baer.
Entertainment. Live breaking news.
I'm Shepard Smith.
Get involved. 877-367-2526. Speak your mind. Call in live. Powered by the most trusted hosts in news. This is your show on right now. This is Fox News Talk. News Talk.
Hi. Welcome back. I am Shepard Smith.
Hey, Shep.
Hey, Shep.
Wow.
Hey, I'm here.
You really let yourself go.
Yeah, I know. I'm Kat Timpf. I'm here with Maddie Ice is still here. And now comedian Jimmy Failla is here.
Hey, everybody. Saying hello on radio is the worst thing in the world, by the way, so just hi, and I'll get out of the way.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Fox News Talk. Call on in, 877-367-2526. We've been having a great time. We had a guy named Ernie call in. We said he got in fights. I was talking about some dumb laws. I think a lot of the opiate laws are dumb laws. We're going to start talking about that a little bit. Big opiate speech today, guys, from the president. Play a quick clip from that. Can we get clip number 4? Number 4.
And soon, HHS will launch a task force to develop and update best practices for pain management across the federal government. I am urging all Americans to help fight this opioid epidemic and the broader issue of drug addiction by participating in the National Prescription Drug Take Back Day this Saturday. When you can safely turn in these dangerous and horrible drugs for disposal, that will be a wonderful, wonderful period of time for you. All of these actions are important parts of my administration's larger effort to confront the drug addiction crisis in America and confront it head on, straight on, strong. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
They're going to do it. See, I'm going to go on a limb here and say I definitely do think that being addicted to opioids is bad. I think that's a bad thing. But some of these things in his speech where he talked about going after certain companies, Matt, going after them. And I could just, because the drugs are dangerous and it's dangerous and everyone's cheering. And you just think, what if this was like a Democratic president talking about companies that make guns or bullets that way because guns are dangerous? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing parts of this already for the last 5 or 10 years in places like Florida, where there are definitely pill mills in Florida. There are people who are abusing that stuff. There are people who are making secondary markets out of all of that kind of stuff. And there's also a bunch of old people in Florida who are in pain, and sometimes their doctors go to jail for 10 years by trying to solve their pain problems. And we have to get to a place when we talk about all kinds of drug policy where we start actually internalizing the lessons of prohibition. And I hate to sound like a predictable libertarian here, but that's kind of the deal, right? People will seek pain relief. And we've seen in the state of Colorado recently, I think it was last week, they said that compared to the rest of the states of the union, they're seeing much less opioid addictions or overdoses there, and they tie it pretty explicitly to the availability of marijuana, because people are using marijuana for similar reasons, for palliative care, just to feel a little bit better about their situation there. So making this all about going after the supply side and turning it into criminality.
It won't change the demand. It's not going to change the demand, Jimmy.
No, it just drives it, basically further underground. But the big problem they have right now, and I'm already concerned about this, is I don't use any of this stuff, which is shocking. Given my body of work, you'd assume there's some type of drug involved or some type of setback. But I do know it is already there's too much. I do think in some cases it must be being overprescribed because it's so cheap to get. Yeah. Like when someone told me that the other day, someone offered me pills on 8th Avenue. And you know, there's such a thing.
First of all, what are you doing on 8th Avenue?
What do you look like? Do you have that pink and purple?
Oh, that's right. The Yankees lost, so that bet came through.
You don't know. Yeah, the Yankees lost.
With your pink and purple water bottle that you got?
What do you think I got this
pill
thing?
Guy.
But there are
huge pill guy.
But there are certain things you just don't want that cheap. You know what I mean? You don't want laser eye surgery for $100. It sounds great because it's normally like $5,000, but there's such a thing as a price so low it becomes suspicious. You know what I mean?
I recently had shoulder surgery, and I've got a cabinet full of opioids right now. I've never really taken them before. I had Vicodin a couple times. That's pretty fun. Let's be honest about that. But like I got the serious stuff as part of this. They suck. These actually aren't fun.
Cat, he's like, I've never taken them before. Is his teeth chatter and his fingernails fall out?
I mean,
not at all.
Sweet morphine might be kind of good, but like the opiate, you can't do anything. You can't work. You can't write an article.
No, you can't function. You can't function.
It's not pleasant.
Well, I think this would be my question on all of this. I guess you're a proponent as a libertarian of saying, legalize everything. Is that what you're saying?
At least most things,
Decriminalize it anyway.
Yeah, not murder, but
Yeah, but I mean decriminalize like opioids and stuff like that. Do you think, it's just strategically, I don't know the answer to this, but do you think the availability of weed, like making weed more available, is there any evidence to show that doing that would impact the amount of people that are turning to opioids?
It absolutely
does.
Preliminarily, it shows again, as in the case of Colorado, that people don't go to opioids nearly as much
because they have the option.
Yeah, they have the option of marijuana.
And weed isn't a painkiller. It kind of makes you feel better. You can eat and some. So I've heard.
It's a time killer.
Cat might have some more insight on this.
I've never tried it, but I've heard.
You won't be in any pain, but you'll play 3 seasons of Madden in a weekend.
I mean, we're just. Weed is by far. I mean, when we talk about the drug war, it's a war on marijuana. I mean, the opioids are getting headlines. There's more overdoses, and they're not heroin. It's the heroin cut with all kinds of other stuff because people are seeking the black market because they can't get a prescription because we crack down on the suppliers of prescriptions. It's a bad.
There's a good argument there, is that you could know what you were taking if it was legalized. Yeah, because I'm saying I probably would be on everything if I knew. Meaning if it was legal and I knew what the quality was, because that'd be my concern having a kid, is I just want to be the dummy who takes a thing and dies.
You don't. So we have a caller here. Dre in Seattle, what's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. This topic is very personal to me. I'm in recovery. I hadn't had a minor mood-altering substance in coming up on 4 years.
Congratulations, man.
Good for you.
Thank you. But it took a long time to get to this point. And I always, look at the God of my understanding and some circumstances that led me to just finally saying enough is enough. I had a lot of, as a progressive Bernie Sanders fan, I called Alan, used to talk to Alan a lot of times. I don't have problems with legalizing marijuana, legalizing even some other drugs because of the underbelly you guys just talked about. It creates in both areas. You have the addict going down in the different underworld, and then a group of people who are selling and distributing it. It's bad all the way around. I really don't see, unless this is a priority, because ever since I was a kid, using some form of minor mood-altering substance was almost like a culture.
Right.
It's almost a thing to do. I had my first drink at 13, and that's basically normal. I'm in recovery now. I see kids coming in who were strung out by the time they're 16, 15 years old, strung out. Back in the day when Alcoholics Anonymous things were started, used to be alcoholic didn't come into the rooms until they were in their 30s and 40s. Now kids are coming to the rooms when they're 15, 16. high schools. It's a culture. And then you get into a program and you get into a situation where you say don't use anymore, try not to use. It's totally counterculture of what's going on, because I essentially use, and I found out for myself, I essentially use because I wanted to escape pain, whether it was physical, mental, or spiritual. I wanted to escape. Now, until the culture in this country changes, I don't see how. I'm finally glad it's being addressed. Too bad that that these young kids are losing their lives, and they're losing their lives by the drug. You know, it's a lot. And I don't, these kids, I see them every day. Matter of fact, I'm going to a meeting tonight. These kids have come from 2-parent households, situations where you like, why? But it's a disease, and addiction is a disease, not a disease like cancer. But if you break down the word disease, dis-ease. When people have dis-ease in any area of their life, and they find something that makes them feel good, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or sex, or food. That's the problem that's going on with the disease of addiction. It's something that's within a person that's making them go to a place where they feel comfortable, almost like a warm blanket. And that's what drugs turned into for me. Until I looked at the destruction it did in my life, and I was like, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your call, Dre. And Matt, I think that's a huge problem that this is being treated as, a criminal issue. People who use these things and have these problems getting thrown in jail. And then once you have that on your record, it can be harder for you to actually go to another life. I don't know why we started treating it this way, or why anybody thinks that that's a good idea.
Yeah, and then you get, depending on what part of the socioeconomic ladder you're at, or just geographic ladder, if that makes any sense at all. But if you're in Skid Row in LA, you're going to be used either by cops or by drug dealers right away to be in the middle of petty drug deals. And you're going to end up in jail or hurt or dead. That's just kind of the options there when you have this awful kind of black market drug thing happening. And it's the caller is right and you're right. I mean, we have the streets are filled with failures of social services, but also of society, things broke down.
I didn't like the way he looked at me when he said that.
Yeah, you know what?
He's like, the streets are filled with people.
Our cab drivers
just fell off a cliff.
Walking
down
around
the job.
8th Avenue.
You haven't been funny enough to the people in the back seat.
They think I'm slacking off?
They do. They want you to make them feel a little bit better.
I want to say this. This is the closest I'd ever come to endorsing myself at anything. I do consider myself pound for pound like one of the best cab drivers that ever lived. I was really phenomenal. Great cab, because I was genuinely interested in like what you had to say and stuff.
But what happens if you're someone like me and Kat and we just never want to talk to you?
There's a lot of those people. You just let them go. You don't want to be the guy that forces the conversation on them, but what you realize driving
Sometimes
a cab...
I'm just crying in the back.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A lot of people who get in...
I'm a lot of crying in the back kind of gal myself.
Yeah, you're just affordable therapy. Anytime someone gets in and asks the cab driver how their day is going, it's so he quickly gets out of the way so they can talk about theirs for 44 minutes. That's what they do. So if someone gets in like, how's your day? You're just supposed to punt. And away they go. And they go.
You know what I like about cabs more so than Uber is that they can't rate you.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
They can't rate you. The Uber, you cry in the back, they're like, I don't like that, made me uncomfortable. I have like a 4.2 rating on Uber.
Do you really?
That's like the lowest rating I've ever heard of.
Did you?
A 4.2
I mean, how many
Uber?
Times vomiting in the back seat?
I've never thrown up in a cab. I've never thrown up in a cab. I've shed many tears. I'm not saying my DNA's not there. Tears have DNA in them, right?
Yeah, that's
I
going
think
on.
so. Rapunzel's does.
Rapunzel's, yeah. I'm like a lot of tears, and then if you vape in the back of the cab, all they can do is say, hey, lady, what are you doing? You can't do that in here. We're in a cloud. And that's it. And then it's over. You vape in an Uber, they do that, and then they give you 1 star.
1 star.
She cried and vaped. 1 star.
1 star Timpf.
But here's I'm with you. Like and also Uber requires some amount of like technology, like on your phone or something like that, which is it's terrifying for someone of my advanced age. But when you leave your phone in the car, or when there's a mishap, it helps to be.
You can get it back.
It's hard with the cabs.
They're getting better in cabs because they've had a lot of turnover. So they have a lot of like new drivers who are still alive on the inside. So they'll try to do right by you. For that little feel good.
I left my driver's license in a cab and I couldn't get it back because I didn't know what cab it was and all that stuff. And now I have to carry my passport around with me to the bar. All right, everybody, we have to take a break.
Wait, when did they start letting you back into the bar?
Recently. I'm using a different name now. I'm going by Jennifer. Call on in, 877-367-2526.
Get involved. Speak your mind. Call in live. 877-367-2526. This is Fox News Talk. More next.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventors information, call 1-800-359-7341. That's 1-800-359-7341. Again, 1-800-359-7341.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-759-0158 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-759-0158. Again, that's 800-759-0158.
This is Fox News Talk.
Headline Rewind.
1983. President Ronald Reagan.
How they preach the supremacy of the state, declare its omnipotence over individual man, and predict its eventual domination of all peoples on the earth. They are the focus of evil in the modern world.
To ignore the great majority of the American public who enjoys rock music is just pure stupidity.
We had a good deploy, and the sun shield's closing now. We'll be with you in a minute.
That's great, Sally.
Our immediate challenge to this atrocity is to ensure that we make the skies safer and that we seek just compensation for the families of those who were killed.
Never again should a black or Hispanic or woman or Jew, because of race, religion, or sex, be limited or inhibited as we grow. The aristocracy is not the limit, the sky is the limit. Our time has come.
News as it happened then, news as it happens now.
This is Fox News Talk.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up,
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Do you have pain in your elbows, knees, hips, and shoulders? Do you jog or exercise or suffer from arthritis or rheumatism? Now there's a new and exciting product that combines 3 potent ingredients to help you have a more pain-free and mobile life. NatureSeal Joint and Immune Complex can assist you in repairing and maintaining healthy joints. This product can lessen inflammation, lubricate joints, help rebuild cartilage, reduce healing time, and fight the pain of arthritis. The NatureSeal Company has combined their potent all-natural colostrum with 2 more powerful joint protectors, MSM and glucosamine HCl. NatureSeal Joint and Immune Complex is ideal for active people. Remember, deterioration of the joints can happen at any age, so protect your family. Order NatureSeal Joint and Immune Complex today. It comes with a money-back guarantee. Call 866-PMI-ORDER. NatureSeal Joint and Immune Complex is $29.95 for a 30-day supply. Or buy a 60-day supply for $59.95 and get a 3rd bottle free. Call 1-866-PMI-ORDER today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fox News Talk. As you may hear, I am here with comedian Jimmy Failla and Reason's Matt Welch. We're doing some talking. We're doing some hanging out, talking about our lives, talking about the opioid crisis, doing all that. One of the things that stuck out to me in Trump's speech today, Matt, was he was saying this crisis is why we need the wall to keep the opioids out. I think that if the opioids were legal, we might not need the wall. Because why would all the gang members have to come over here?
If walls kept out drugs, there would be no drugs in prison.
Yeah, exactly.
There are drugs in every prison. It ain't the wall. I mean, this is talked about. We've already forgotten because the GOP primary was so insane that, like, we just have yet to process all the insanity. So there was a while, if you remember, where people were like talking about, I mean, Scott Walker, who's like a normal. He's a normie.
Very normal.
Was like, maybe we should have a wall on the northern border, too, to keep out the drugs. And Ben Carson was like, we don't need to just wall up the southern and the northern borders, but the Pacific and Atlantic ones,
Let's
too.
just live in a dome with a bunch of DEA agents sitting on top of it, and there will still be drugs.
It got so competitive at one point. Ted Cruz put out a hammer and nails and started building one right on the stage.
Exactly.
It's like, we'll help you.
Except his hands were not ready to actually engage in physical labor. No, it's an insane thing. But this is something that Trump said 1,000 times.
1,000,000.1
on the stump that he could do it, and you get the idea. And in fact, even when he's talking about building the wall now, he's saying, well, it's got to be big enough so that the catapults for the drugs don't come over. It's just not how drugs are moved around.
There's no catapult. We're going to take a caller real quick. Michael from San Jose, what's up?
Yeah, hi, Kat. How you doing?
Pretty good.
What I want to talk about is the opioid epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
We first had the World War I starting in the Nixon era on drugs, which is a big failure. Okay, that's my opinion. Now they're going to start this World War II on opioids. And I'm former law enforcement. I'll tell you what, the motivation that a drug addict has for heroin or opioids, okay, which are basically the same thing, is so great, okay? They don't care if they get arrested. They don't care what happens. As long as they get the money, buy the dope. And I agree with what Greg said earlier today about the ones that need it the most, your cancer patients and stuff, they're going to get hurt by it. And another thing is, what if there's an influx and all these people that really want to get off of it? Now you're going to have all these clinics just flooded with addicted patients. Now they have to give them another pill to bring them down, such as methadone. That's what they do in jails. So somebody that comes in that's hooked on heroin, they get screened. Their doctor on the outside or clinic gets called. They confirm that, yes, he's on methadone. And they take their methadone every single day. It is a liquid. And trust me, they drink it out of that bottle, suck it down, put water in it, shake it up, suck it down. And it's just pharmaceutical-grade heroin.
Yeah, and see, Matt, it's just, you talked about the motivation. See, I don't do heroin, and it's not because heroin is not legal. It's because it's just like, no, I don't really want to do that with my life. And people who do want to do heroin are still doing it, even though it is illegal. It's almost as if the law doesn't really change anything.
There was a moment in the in 2012 GOP presidential primary. I'm just your guy here for like a primary discussion, but there was a debate in South Carolina. This is back when Gary Johnson was still running as a Republican presidential candidate, and Ron Paul was there. And Ron Paul made the point, and it's a great one. You think if we legalize heroin tomorrow, everyone would just go and do heroin?
No,
And
they
in fact,
wouldn't.
They would not, and that's an interesting thing to think about. It's not the law.
It's not the law. All right, everybody call in. 877-367-2526. Fox News Talk. We'll be right back.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense.
Winston Churchill's immortal words stirred an entire country in the face of certain defeat. Today, these words give each of us the courage to reach for our own victories.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never.
Commitment. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Fox News Talk presents
Political Pop.
Stands the unwritten rules, you give a tip to the person who served you. It used to be 10% of the bill, now it's pretty common to leave up to 20% or even more. But it's your decision. In recent years, though, some restaurants began a no-tipping policy. Well, not really. They tack on a mandatory hospitality fee. A man named Timothy Brown, who presumably eats out a lot, was apparently hungry for a lawsuit. He's brought a suit against several high-end restaurant owners in New York and San Francisco, cities where restaurant prices are already pretty high. The suit alleges an eatery conspiracy designed to violate antitrust laws. The restaurants say, no, we just want to make it easier for customers and make sure our workers don't get stiffed. At least one of the restaurant owners calls the lawsuit baseless and plans to fight it. Timothy Brown is asking for damages plus attorney's fees, but not a tip for his lawyers. With Fox on Justice, Hank Weinblum, Fox News.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's the Breathe Easies with another one of your favorite hits.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart when you're sitting and smoking the kids and get triggered asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Up next, well, what do you know? The Breathe Easies with another hit song, Vacuum Up the Floor.
Vacuum up the floor. Vacuum up the floor. Yeah! Vacuum up the floor. The asthma trigger is no more. You gotta vacuum up the furniture and vacuum in the cracks because the dander and the dust can give kids asthma attacks.
Simple steps can help your kids breathe easier. Vacuum up the floor to keep your house free of dust, dander, and dust mites. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
Now, from the historical audio archives of Fox News Talk.
In August of 1970, New York attorney Bella Abzug, one of the most outspoken leaders in the growing women's movement, gave testimony on the Equal Rights Amendment.
We felt this transcendent joy, for woman's life has been imminent, as Simone de Beauvoir did. It has never been completely human because so few of us have had this great experience that all of us have had tonight of creating in history, of taking the torch from those great women who won us the vote 50 years ago and carrying that torch high so that it will shine on the lives not only of our daughters, but shines in our own faces in self-affirmation.
Stay tuned to hear more history as it unfolds before your ears. It's the audio archives of Fox News Talk.
Computer security threats such as spam, spyware, viruses, and hackers invade your business every day through email, instant messaging, web browsing, and your company's website. With no software to install and no per-user license fees, Barracuda Networks firewalls are easy to set up and affordable. Do what 50,000 other companies have done. Reclaim your network with a Barracuda Networks firewall. For a free evaluation unit, call Barracuda Networks, 888-ANTI-SPAM, 888-ANTI-SPAM, or go online to barracuda.com.
how's it going? I'm so glad you're there. This is Kat Timpf. Welcome to Fox News Talk. I'm here with comedian Jimmy Failla.
KT.
Hey, how's it going? And you know what? You can be here too. You just have to call this magical number. It's 877-367-2526. And then you can join us and we can all talk and we can all have a good time. You know what I mean?
We can all do this together. It's like the Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
Oh,
you know that whole thing.
People talk so much smack about the Olive Garden.
No, it works.
But it works for me.
Listen, there's a reason chains are as popular as they are, and people don't understand that. They do a lot of things right. You know what I mean? It's so popular and cool to dump on McDonald's.
I know.
But McDonald's is an awfully good port in the storm.
Good.
Like if you're down in the dumps in life, how good is McDonald's?
Yeah.
McDonald's never let you down.
No, I eat at McDonald's still.
Yeah, and there's also the added bonus of just seeing who else is at McDonald's, which makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. Like McDonald's is my Walmart. I don't have a Walmart by me.
Yeah.
So I can't really people watch that way, but I can McDonald's the pants off the place, and it's great. And it's good food.
I like McDonald's. I like Chick-fil-A. I like Burger King.
Chick-fil-A is amazing.
It's amazing. The breakfast sandwich.
I've left orgies to eat Chick-fil-A.
I get it. Especially if breakfast is almost over. The sun's
ladies.
coming up and breakfast is almost over and you got to get that biscuit with the fried chicken on it.
We got a cutoff coming here, ladies. Yeah, it's good stuff. Would you say pound for pound right now, Chick-fil-A is the best fast food in the country?
I think so. It's so good. That honey mustard sauce, extra pickles, give me it.
It's almost in a class above normal fast food. Like it feels like a restaurant. And they've still kind of managed to do that in New York City, which I wasn't excited about that. Like when I heard they were coming, because you know what happens? I love the food, but it loses a little bit of the mystique when it's right down the block.
Yeah, oh man. I walk to work every day. I'm like, should I get a biscuit? I should.
It goes on.
Yeah.
That's I love that that's your internal voice for yourself.
Yeah, it changes depending on what I've done the night before.
I just have one I have one abusive stage dad in my head who just berates me all day. But I mean, that's the key, I think, to getting better at anything, is you can't be the guy who's like, hey, I'm doing okay. Because that's when, the universe just laughs. And
sometimes I have the, why did you do that, cat voice? Sometimes I have the, you're amazing, cat voice. It kind of just depends. I don't know.
I frequently have, the why did you do that? But Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, Kat Timpf.
Absolutely.
It's all we have in this world.
It's all we have in this world. Everybody call on in 877-367-2526. We were talking a lot about, what do you think opioids, do you think that the wall can keep out the opioids?
Well, it can't keep... It can't keep them out because of the methods of them getting in is the problem. And they get them in now in like drones. People are dropping off drugs in prisons using drones.
Yep.
And if you read a lot of news, specifically news that takes place in Florida, people are always smuggling drugs in parts of their body. Not parts I'm dying to get into right now, and I certainly don't want to harken back to your last line of work. I know that'd be emotional for you.
Come on, we're on the air here.
That film was originally called Cat Full of Grace. It was originally called Cat Full of Grace, but we didn't give them the rights.
I mean, it's just... admitting that there's a problem isn't doing something, and doing something isn't going to do anything. And as a libertarian, people always tell me, oh, you're so crazy because you just want to legalize everything, but I don't know what difference it would make.
Well, here's the thing. I think in terms of ODs, and I think we need to start there, if we're really concerned about the problem with overdoses, and the predominantly linked to fentanyl specifically, and there's no way to take this stuff and know whether it's in it or not. I mean, at this point, you could assume it's there, but I mean, you still have no idea what the dosage level is. Legalizing them would allow you to regulate dosage, and in most cases, people would at least know what they were taking, and you'd like to think that would decrease the amount of overdoses.
Well, right.
So I'm in favor.
Yeah, I'm in favor as well. I'm in favor of legalizing everything and transparency and truth. I want to talk to you, I want to go back to this dossier for a second because we were talking about it a little bit more in the first hour when you weren't here. Trump, let's get that play clip 6 of Trump talking about it.
Don't forget, Hillary Clinton totally denied this. She didn't know anything. She knew nothing. All of a sudden it found out. What I was amazed at, it's almost $6 million that they paid, and it's totally discredited. It's a total phony. I call it fake news. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
Would you pay $6 million for that?
Listen, I was saying this yesterday on Kennedy's show. Pound for pound, the best show in all cable news.
That's a great one. She's a good friend.
Shout to the K-Train. Yeah, this really is demonstrative of what a bad politician she is.
And a bad way to spend your money.
That's what I'm saying, like, specifically because it's Donald Trump. Like, who would pay $6 million to get dirt on Donald Trump, a guy who gives you his dirt?
Yeah.
He leads dirt first. This would be like paying a researcher to prove the Cleveland Browns were bad.
Right.
They're 0-6. We get it.
Yeah, cool, $6 million.
They're not sneaking up on anybody. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I thought it was terrible and not very fiscally responsible. I mean, my cutoff for political dirt in that instance would be like $2 million.
Yeah, political dirt, and then this is just this. Nobody's reading. Nobody thought this was true.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. The other part of it, though, is I think this, is like the come to Jesus moment on the Russia probe that people on the left are going to have to start accepting.
Yeah.
That didn't go on. Like, you can't have Trump in one breath be the most incompetent, unqualified bozo who's ever run for office, but then in the other, he's hatched this Dr. Evil, nefarious plan where he's back-channel colluding with the president of Russia. He can't be both guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what your
point is. And I think
is.
what this has exposed Hillary is, like, she is the spouse who is accusing her husband of cheating to mask the fact that she's cheating. Meaning all of these Russia shouts are probably the end result going to be just an attempt to distract from their own involvement in Russia, which is what we probably learned in the Uranium One deal, too.
Yeah, the Uranium One deal, that really grinds my gears.
There it is.
I gotta say, that one really grinds my gears. What Peter Schweizer talked about that on Handy last night. We played clip 19.
$145 million that we know about comes from a variety of sources, but it's basically 9 shareholders in this Uranium One company, guys like Frank Justra, Sergei Kurzin, and others. And there's a major story to be told there, not only about how this deal was approved, but how this deal was put together, and the fact that the Clintons made a lot of money by basically helping the Russians to corner the world uranium market.
Yeah, they get their money. The Clintons, they're good at making money, man.
I mean,
give them that.
Knowing that Russia wants to corner the uranium market and being like, okay, yeah, all right, this is fine.
That's so funny. But I think this story, if you listen to the details, this could really put in perspective for everybody just how much Trump was not supposed to win.
Yeah.
In that they were playing this loose. Meaning Obama, the Clintons, this deal, the money, the Clinton Foundation, they were so sure that he couldn't win.
15 points ahead?
Yeah, that they couldn't even be bothered to do this neatly, like good criminals.
Yeah.
Properly hide the transaction, even with the dossier. The fact that the money is coming from the DNC and her foundation is so in her campaign is so sloppy.
It's so
But they
sloppy.
were sure they were going to get away with it.
You have all the best people to cover your tracks.
Everybody.
You have everybody to cover your tracks.
And these are career track coverers. They have some of the best in the business.
But then of course there's the point that even when she gets caught, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
I don't think that this scandalous Scandy stuff had anything to do with her loss so much as I think like the basket of deplorables comment had a lot to do with it.
Oh, big time.
And her entitlement had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, people hate that. They hate that. And they didn't want, people didn't want a political dynasty. That's why Jeb was in a bad spot coming in.
Yep.
Which is shocking considering he's such a great candidate. Jeb hated this so much. Every debate, like he looked like a cat getting a bath.
Like just wanting a hug.
Have you ever
Somebody hug me.
You ever seen a cat in a sink?
Yeah, I have a cat. He had fleas once, and boy, he was just wet and upset, and that was kind of like Jeb in all the debates.
Every Jeb debate performance looks like a cat getting a bath.
But, Trump is obviously arrogant. Very arrogant man. But Hillary was arrogant in a different way.
Yes.
Trump is braggadocious. Hillary was like, I don't even have to try because I got this in the bag. It wasn't a personality thing. It was a way that she views the world.
Oddly enough, that's what it is. Like Trump, for as wealthy as he might be, he's like a rapper.
Yeah.
Very blingy. He flies in, he parks the plane on the runway, sets up a podium, trots out a supermodel, and tells you how great he is. It's kind of rappish. It is. It's kind of rappish. She comes off more like an entitled rich kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is mine. Daddy! I want to be president!
Yeah.
Daddy!
She didn't even try. She just, her whole campaign was, are we serious? Look how bad the other guy is. And it's like, you can't run a campaign like that. And whining. Think about if, you were trying to run for student council in middle school, and your entire campaign was, look how mean to me the other guy was.
Yeah.
People would throw milk cartons at you.
They'd get meaner. They'd out-mean him.
Yeah,
Take that, Trump.
Your speech is, he's mean to me. Look how mean he is. You can't win like that.
No, it was weak. It was terrible. I mean, and I think, though, what's funny now with all this, things going on with the dossier and everything else, is because she just went on that tour, the Woe Is Me, it was everybody's fault tour. I think the timing on this is like really serendipitous because no one's going to stick up for her.
No.
Her party isn't coming to her defense here because this is, for all intents and purposes, their only chance to really get rid of her. Because somewhere in the back of her head, she thinks she's running again. And people are like, oh, she said she's done being a candidate. She said that before. Yeah. She said she was running again after 2008. She's done that. She plays coy, but I think that's what's keeping her alive, is that she does probably in some capacity want to run again. They don't know how to stand up to her because within the Democratic Party, they don't have anybody that can raise money. So the Clintons have been able to stick around all this time because they're basically the 22-year-olds that can buy beer for the high school kids.
They are, and I'm surprised she didn't. You know the episode of Seinfeld where George he just shows up as if he wasn't fired or didn't quit. I'm surprised she didn't just show up to the White House. I'm surprised she didn't also just do that, just show up to the inauguration like I'm here, like in her pantsuit, smiling.
Just showed up.
I'm surprised she didn't do that.
Cut the line. I'm sure she thought about it.
That's the attitude that she had. I'm surprised she wasn't like, all right, I'm here for my job now. This is my job. I stayed with this man for this job. Give me my job.
That's the one thing I think about a lot is this.
Yes.
That, they stayed together strategically.
Yes.
A crime of opportunity. And so it doesn't pan out. I always constantly wonder who I feel bad for. Them, who stayed together like 20 years longer than they probably would have in the interest of her career, or those like poor Saudi guys who just spent a ton of money thinking they had a direct line to the president.
Yeah.
And now they got like a disconnected signal when they called the day after Election Day.
Yeah.
It's like you put up $200 million. You know what I mean?
I think
hid all the books from the women in your country, took away all their car keys. You thought you were just going to do some, real wild stuff. And then you call up the day after the election. It's like the number you have reached.
Yeah.
For $200 million. Not good.
And it's just weird that, she still could have a role in the Democratic Party if that was what she was interested in, but she's only interested in herself. She's not even coming. She could strategize. She could find ways to get involved, but all she's doing is whining.
Well, that's a thing. And you know how it's like we're on Fox, we take shots at her all the time.
Of course.
Well-deserved shots. But I still don't think, that being said, I don't think the general public ever has really gotten a feel or an acceptance for just how bad she is. Like, this is not us being partisan and just trying to take down the other side. Like, this is not some just delusional thing and we want to win, so, we've painted this narrative about this. Look, she's like a terrible candidate. Like a really, and it's like, maybe I could speak to you listening to this as a sports fan. She had a $1.2 billion war chest. She had the incumbent president behind her. Her husband is an ex-president. The guy she lost to had to take on his own party, 17 candidates. And let's be clear, his own party did not want him winning.
Absolutely.
To blow that lead.
Absolutely.
This is the Patriots losing to Division Avenue High School.
It absolutely
She managed to do that.
Hillary, you were that bad. All right, we got to take a quick break. Call on in, 877-367-2526, Fox News Talk.
Your talk, your voice, your show. This is Fox News Talk. 877-367-2526. More next.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Gentlemen, how would you like to be able to order Viagra, Levitra, or Cialis in the comfort of your own home? Now it's as quick and easy as a phone call to MetaMeds.com. Just call 800-929-2699. In a couple of minutes over the phone, we'll ask you a few questions pertaining to your health. Your medical information will be reviewed by a doctor, and upon approval, your product will be shipped to your door. It's simple, discreet, and will save you time and money. For as little as $6 a dose, you can order Viagra, Levitra, or Cialis and have it delivered to your home in 3 to 5 business days. Call now to 800-929-2699 or go to MetaMeds.com, MEDAMEDS.com. Call 800-929-2699. Call now and ask about the new revolutionary sublingual tablets, the quicker and easier way of taking Viagra. Isn't it about time you tried Viagra, Levitra, or Cialis? Just call MetaMeds at 800-929-2699. That's 800-929-2699 or go to MEDAMEDS.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fox News Talk. I'm Kat Timpf. I'm here with Jimmy Failla. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi. It's so great to be here. We have going to take a caller, which is so exciting. If you want to be a caller, you can be. Just call 877-367-2526. Rob from Davenport, Iowa. How's it going?
It's going pretty good tonight. You guys are great. You guys should actually get a show together.
Stop
Jimmy,
it.
Oh, you stop it.
I'm serious.
Stop it.
You're not only hilarious, but you're on the Trump train, so that's awesome.
I'm on the freedom train.
If you think there's a lot of opioid talk now, stick us in the studio together 3 days a week. Oh, my God. That'd be a good behind the music. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, listen, I just wanted to say that, I don't know who the person was earlier, but they had mentioned laws don't work for this and that. Look, the best example of this is how car crash deaths dropped tremendously from 1972 to now because they got very strict with the laws. And if you were drinking and driving, I mean, you didn't have a chance. I mean, they'd throw the book at you. But, I'm not a big person on that when it comes to drug addiction. I do think I have family members that have been that, and I know that Trump is close to this, having a brother who died from drug overdose or alcoholism. And, I think they should be strict with it. But, hey, if it's your first offense, you've overdosed or you've caused some kind of accident or something, it's mandatory to go into a drug treatment program. You could treat it like jail, but don't put a felony on the person's record. That way they have a fighting chance. You treat them, they get out, they can start a new life, and they get a chance. Now, if they're repeat offenders, you're going to have to start, escalating that penalization of these people. But I do think it's an epidemic, and a lot of people don't talk about it. But I mean, in 2016, 60,000 people in this country died of drug overdose.
That's crazy.
Not just opioid, but drug overdoses in general.
Yeah.
That way surpasses gun deaths. And I think, we can talk about how guns are dangerous. I'm a big Second Amendment believer, but the gun deaths are declining, or they're staying relatively about the same in this country. Whereas drug overdoses, the rate is accelerating, and it truly is an epidemic. And I do appreciate that Trump is bringing attention to this. Now, whether they come up with the right solutions or not, that's a different story. But anyway, I just wanted to comment on that. I'm enjoying listening to the show tonight.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Jimmy, I just don't see in any situation, and when you talk about someone causing an accident or something, or actual, that's different, but we're having criminal penalties for this. Does anyone any good?
Well, if you are if you work off the prison industrial complex, you like this sort of thing. But if you actually care about people, no, there's no benefit. There's no upside to this. If you're actually trying to help people, and certainly if you're trying to rehabilitate people. But he brought up the gun. He brought up the gun issue, and it's very interesting. A lot of people feel that mental health is a big contributor to the gun, the mass shooting problem in this country, and they feel like that's underfunded. Maybe there is an answer to tying funding into drugs, drug counseling, and this and stuff like that. Maybe you go away, as I think we'd all agree, on the criminalization aspect, and you start pouring money into treatment. Think of the money we are spending to fight the war on drugs. You know what I mean? It's not like we're winning again. You can walk. We're on 6th Avenue. Within a block of here, I can get you any drug you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
From multiple people.
And
like, we could Yelp the drug dealers. There are that many out there.
And nobody's saying, you know what, thank God I went to prison and was in prison where there's also drugs, and then I came out with this felony on my record that'll, and now I can go get a job. Now I can just go live a straight life with a job now that I have this felony. Thanks, government.
Thanks,
no,
guys.
that's not how that works. And we're not giving these people a chance because we're putting them in prison.
Definitely. No, I say legalize all of it. I mean, we're in New York. You know what I mean? When you just think of the pain problem with the Knicks playing here,
oh boy,
Knicks fans should be allowed to have whatever medicinal drugs they want.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for joining me. Up next, we're going to have Sam Roberts from Jim and Sam Show. You can come on too if you give us a call, 877-367-2526.
Last night we put on an epic light show.
Yeah, we did.
The crowd loved us. We love the crowd.
Wait, but there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? All 8 of their eyes lit up brighter than ours. And we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, that one girl, she looked like she'd never seen glow in the dark like this before, and we invented glow in the dark.
Yeah, we invented it.
And we're gonna be out here every night, rocking out our light show at a forest near you.
Woo-hoo!
So come check us out.
Check us out.
And bring your kid, all ages show. Oh, but don't bring any of those glass jars, because they make us kind of nervous.
Yeah, and I'm super claustrophobic.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you and discover other cool things to do when you go, like fishing, biking, or even camping. Visit discovertheforest.org.
See you later!
Yeah, see you soon!
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Now, from the historical audio archives of Fox News Talk.
Although he was the Speaker of the House from 1971 to 1977, Democrat Carl Albert of Oklahoma served in Congress since 1947. In a 1990 interview, Albert gave his impression of President Harry Truman.
Harry Truman was the least educated president we had in my time, But he had certain qualities that made him an unusual president. He was the most fearless government official that I've ever known. I remember one time some of us went down to talk to him about what we would like to have brought up through the years, and when he got through, he said, well, boys, I'll tell you, look at all this stuff, but he had a globe on his desk, globe of the world. He says, the only thing I'm really interested in is protecting that little globe.
Stay tuned to hear more history as it unfolds before your ears. It's the audio archives of Fox News Talk.